Don't waste your money on a Landcruiser. Hey guys, welcome back to another video. This is Jimmy and I'm Bianca.
Today we're going to go through some controversial camping issues and we're going to give you our take on the matter.
Yeah. Okay, so as everyone probably wants to know, our take on Landcruisers or expensive cars before a trip, we're going to save that for last, so make sure you stay tuned.
Alright, so our first take is, and some of you may have heard us talk about this before.
Talked about it a bit.
Is on rooftop tents. And we are not the biggest fans of rooftop tents.
Nah.
They're either too overpriced for the good ones or the cheap ones that take ages to set up and pack up and they're not very waterproof.
Yeah. And you know, the good ones that are waterproof, they just cost so much money. And I've had a lot of people say, well, go buy a second-hand one, but most of them are still really expensive.
Yeah, even the second-hand ones, it's like over $1,000 to really. I've struggled to find one second-hand that goes for under $1,000.
Yeah, and however, the cheap ones that people show me, well, why don't you go get this $200 or $300 ones? I'm literally looking up the reviews, and people are saying they leak or they're not working properly.
My family has one, and I've slept in them before. Yeah. And they do get quite wet, and they do take a lot of effort and time to set up. Yeah. And although the more expensive ones are quick and easy to set up, they're still loud. Yeah, they make a lot of noise in the wind, and they're not impervious to water. Yeah. So they can still leak a little bit. Yeah. And you know, if you want more details on this, you can check it out. Yeah. TikTok account, because we've talked about it a lot. We've got
I'll link our name.
All right.
Next statement is car camping isn't real camping. So kind of like it's glamping. Yeah.
It's interesting because, you know, a lot of people say this and I actually kind of agree with this take. Yeah. I don't necessarily think sleeping in your car with a big thick mattress like we've got
it's not really camping.
It's not like what I grew up doing, sleeping in tents and whatnot. Yeah. But for a long trip over multiple weeks.
Months. And people go for years. So
it's just sleeping like that every day, at least for us, it's not really doable. And it just makes the experience so much more enjoyable overall. Yeah.
But there's no reason for you to be uncomfortable on such a long trip. You know, if you're going a weekend away or a week here
sleeping
and there,
tent,
it's not so bad. But
whatever you want to do, but we actually agree with this one. Yeah. It's not necessarily real camping, it's a bit glamping. That's
honestly okay with us.
And then once you add in your fridge and your awning,
it's really like,
you may as well just stay in your house at that point.
Yeah, so the question is, do you need a little bit of discomfort for it to be real camping?
Well, I think so, but you know, people would be surprised, even with a setup like this that's really comfortable, there's always a lot of discomfort that comes with it as well. Yeah, well, there you go. Alright, so the next statement is that you need expensive gear to go hiking or camping or four-wheel driving. Yeah. Now, although I love the expensive, nice gear and all the toys like the next person, just as much as they do, you definitely don't need it. Yeah. And we have plenty of cheap gear because that's what we could afford. Yeah. And I'd much rather be able to get out there and go on the tracks and go on the hikes and go camping with all the cheap gear than not be able to go out there at all. I know it's like a dream to be able to afford some of that stuff, and I'd love to have it. Until, you know, we have the budget for that, I'd much rather just be able to get out there with what we've got.
All right, next one we have music or speakers should not be allowed at campsites.
Interesting.
Yeah, completely disagree.
Yeah. I think that it definitely gets to a point where it's like if you're, you know, putting your music super loud and disturbing everyone, then obviously that's not allowed. But I
think it also depends how late it is.
Yeah, the time as well, especially because a lot of people go to bed quite early while camping. Yeah. But if you keep your music to a volume where you can just sort of only hear it around your campfire or whatever, I think it's a great thing to have. Yeah,
I mean, sometimes when we've forgotten speakers or don't have music, it's nice to listen to other people's music. Yeah. So, I don't know, maybe I think a lot of people don't agree with that necessarily.
Yeah, I think that is a bit more of a controversial take.
I think it's a bit of fun.
I think it's nice to have music. So.
Yeah.
All right, so next take is that camping should only be done in summer. Now, this is one that we both disagree with because if you only camp in summer, you're missing out on 3/4 of the year of camping you could do.
Yeah, and for no reason too.
Yeah, and some of the things you can only do in certain months. Like you might have seen just recently went to the snow. Yeah. Which, you know, at least in Australia, you can obviously only do in winter.
Yes. Also, we are planning a trip to Exmouth over the peak summer. Yeah. And unfortunately, we're not going to be able to see whale sharks.
Yeah, because because they're only there, I think, just after March, which is a real shame because that was one of the things we wanted to do there, but we found out that you can only do that in like it's like a month or a couple month window of the year.
So it'd be such a shame to just avoid camping and
miss out on all these different opportunities. And sometimes you want to go when it's colder. Like obviously we've only got time to go away then because I've got uni and stuff. But like, I mean, I would rather go a little bit earlier in the year or a little bit later in the year.
I think that would be a nice time
when it's not so hot to go to a lot of places. Like if you're going to go through the Northern Territory or up north in Queensland or
summer.
Western Australia, it's better to not go in peak summer.
Yeah.
So
there's that. Yeah. Okay, next up we've got solar setups are oversold.
Now this is an interesting one for me because I think that solar, especially in your car, doesn't do as much as people generally think.
Yeah.
But at the same time, in Australia, especially like, I mean,
peak
not
summer.
as much in Victoria, but especially in pretty much everywhere else in Australia besides Tassie, solar can really be powerful. We get so much sun and so much strong sun that even if it's like partially shaded or your panel's partially covered, it will make an absolutely huge difference.
Yeah.
And if you want to stay in the same place, it, you know,
without moving the car or whatever
it helps you avoid having to turn your car on or go for a drive if you don't want to pack your camp up and then reset it up later. So I think it's good to have, and that's why we've got it on the roof.
Yeah. I think that being said, as you said though, I kind of thought it was going to do so much more than what it did.
It never does as much as you think it'll do.
It did help, don't get me wrong,
it does help.
Don't expect too much.
Yeah. All right, so our next one is, should national parks have fees for entry?
Ooh, so personally, I think I can understand why, like places in WA, Cape Legrand, the fees, the national park fees, they do get quite expensive, and I understand why, because they are quite maintained. Like, there's a good job. There's obviously toilets and tracks and whatnot, and they're maintaining it. However, I think it's a little bit too expensive because it's like, it's nature. Like, I don't know if it should cost as much as it does.
Well, see, this is interesting because I kind of have a different take on this. I don't think they should put any fees on any national parks.
Yeah.
I kind of see it as, and maybe this is just because I'm from Victoria and they're all free here, but...
They're not as good in Victoria, though.
Well, it depends on what you're looking for, but most of the time, the beaches anyway. I think that they should all be free because I think that you shouldn't really be allowed to charge for the natural environment. It's kind of like when you want to drive up in the Alpine area through Mount Hotham or something and they make you pay to stop there. Obviously they own that land, so I understand that.
Yeah.
But if you don't own it and it's a national park, I get like a very, very small fee to like maintain the roads and stuff to get there. Yeah. But like, how much was it for
I don't want to quote it. I might add it into the video for what we paid.
I remember it being somewhat expensive, and it's like, to see just how the environment is naturally, like, I don't think they're spending that much. I think most of the money's going to maintaining the campsites and stuff up there at Lucky Bay, which I think the campsite fee should be paying for, not the entry fee.
Look, the thing is, they're definitely overpriced, and obviously I would love if they were free. However, I do understand why there is a fee.
I just think they should all be free.
Yeah, I think we got that actually.
All right.
Yeah. Okay, so lucky last, what we've all been waiting for is, should you buy a brand new Landcruiser or any kind of expensive brand new car, or do you have to for a touring trip?
Yeah. Well, this is interesting because while we were on our WA trip, obviously we saw tons and tons of Landcruisers. Yeah. But also like F-150s and Dodge Rams and like the big Chevs and stuff.
Brand new ones too.
Yeah, brand new ones that are all been like imported from America and stuff, where they have lots of those cars. Do you actually need them?
No.
Absolutely not.
No.
A reliable older four-wheel drive like a Pajero, like
not a 13 Pajero,
not to be biased, they're quite good, but even like an older Land Cruiser, like 80 series and stuff, that are a lot more affordable than obviously a brand new one. Yeah. Even like old Prados or like cars like that, older Utes, Hiluxes, or even like like a D-Max or a Ranger, but that might be controversial in itself.
The thing is, I think if you can afford to buy one and you have the money, then go for it. It is still a dream, a Landcruiser.
Don't get me wrong, the 79 series is still my dream
it's
car.
On our
if
list.
I had the money, I would
Absolutely. Like, that's not what we're saying. If you have the money, go for it.
I would rather, same as the camping thing before, I would rather be able to get out and spend my time in the bush
what I'm saying.
than spend all my money on a 79 series Landcruiser and never be able to get out.
Yeah, it's a little bit overrated with how much gear and how expensive of cars you need to purchase in order to tour. Like, we went on our 6-week trip. 6-week trip in the Padge, in the car, sleeping setup, and we absolutely loved it. Like, obviously we went past a lot of Landcruisers and a lot of things, and we were like, oh, dream setup. But it is not the most important thing.
What was the funniest thing we saw? There was this guy in this old Land Rover Discovery or something like that, and he had a sticker on the back saying, "I identify as a Landcruiser."
Yeah. So. Yeah.
It's that kind of thing, you know?
Yeah. I mean, like, as I said, if you've got the money, you go for it. However, there's a lot of people that don't, and this is targeted to, I guess, also a lot of young people who want to get out there. Like, you do not need the highest, the most expensive, you know.
And even if maybe you can afford, like, an expensive car, maybe you want to spend that money on something else. You're saving up for a house, and you just want to still be able to get out camping.
Just you know, get something affordable and get out there.
And if you get something that's cheaper, you're not so scared to scratch it for the first time as well.
Exactly.
And that's it from us.
Yeah.
All right.
Hope you guys enjoyed this video. It was a bit of a
thanks for
interesting
watching.
one.
See you later.
Yeah. See you guys.